Good afternoon. Welcome to your English FAL grade 9 lesson. My name is Miss Kasa, and I'm very happy to have you with me today. I hope you've had a great day thus far, and you are ready to begin our lesson. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to use the chat to ask, or you can raise your hand and you'll be given the opportunity to speak to the class. As I've mentioned, I'm Miss Kasa. I'm taking over from Miss K just for the day, and she will be back very soon. Today, we're going to look at transactional writing. And just a quick recap, I believe that in the past couple of weeks, you've looked at writing, which is paper 3 during the exams. And you've covered in the past 3 days, structure. You've looked at structure of the essay, the different types of essay, and choosing a topic and things you need to do before writing the final copy. So as part of paper 3, today we're going to look at transactional text, longer transactional text from section B, while shorter transactional text from section C of the exam paper. I believe this is something that you've done already. I'm not sure if you've submitted your copies to Ms. K yet. Can somebody just confirm with me if you've submitted copies of your essay to Ms. K yet, if this is something you've done already? Class, is this something you've already covered with Ms. K, or is it something you still need to do? Yes, ma'am, you've covered it. Thank you, Elisa, for your response. Okay, moving along. Remember, you're required to write and submit your first draft. Okay, so you've already covered this, so we're not going to look at it. Okay, so today we're talking about diary entries. Just another quick questions. These are the essay topics that you covered. Yes? Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your response, Bulane and Yulisa. So just another recap at transactional text. So transactional texts are either a response or an initiation of a response. And they can be long or short. And they range between 120 to 150 words if it is a longer transactional text. And if it's a short one, it's between 80 to 100 words. And examples of longer transactional texts are letters, formal and friendly letters, a memorandum, dialogue, interview, speech, review, curriculum, and you can just think of other examples on that one as well. And when we talk about shorter transactional texts, we're looking at invitations, diary entries, advertisements, directions, instructions, a flyer, a poster, filing, and e-form. Okay, so this is what you've covered already with Ms. K. All right, so today we're going to look at diary entries, which is a shorter transactional text. So it is between 80 to 100 words. I just want to know from you your thoughts about diary entries, not just for assignment purposes, assessment purposes. So I want you to complete the sentence for me. Diary entries are, and then you can fill in the sentence. diary entries are? So something you like, something you do. Okay, so Pulane, what I'm asking is for you to share your views on diary entries, how you feel about them, what you think about them. So you can just say diary entries are personal. Yolisa says diary entries are personal. Kwezi says diary entries are private. So diary entries are secretive. Okay. What else can you say about diary entries? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Do you keep one? Lisa also says diary entries are pages full of thoughts. So do you keep a diary? Oh, Elisa says, yes, ma'am. Okay, so Kwezi says, I don't have one, but I'd love to. Okay, Lynn says yes, Ben says no. Right, very interesting. So there are some people that are for diary entries, some are not for diary entries. Tanya says no as well. Cleo says no. Amahle says she enjoys them. All right, so let's just talk about, let's focus on the people that do enjoy them just for a second. So how do you go about it? Do you keep a digital diary or do you go old school with pen and paper? And how do you make sure that nobody reads your diary? Okay, so Yolisa uses pen and paper. Nice. Dana also uses pen and paper. No digital diaries. Amahle is also old school. JJ says no. So how do you keep your diary safe? Oh, wow. Lynn keeps the digital diary. Nice. She's the first one that says they keep a digital one. Quiz is also old school. Okay, so how do you keep it safe? Make sure that it's just for your eyes only. Do you hide it somewhere? Ah, Yelisa says, I'm the last child in the house, so no one goes through my stuff. You're very lucky. So your parents don't go through your room and somebody who cleans maybe. Bulani says, that's the reason why I don't like them. How do I keep it safe? I hear you, Bulani. I also struggle with that one. Dana says, I put mine under the bed. Okay. So maybe we'll hear from the class how you can keep a diary safe. Maybe then you can start keeping one. Kwezi also says, no one goes through my things, so I can keep it safe. I want to hear from Lynn. Lynn, you say you keep a digital one. So how do you keep yours safe? Or anyone else who keeps a digital diary? How do you keep it safe? This is what I agree with you, Pulani. Pulani says, some people have helpers, people that go through their room and clean. So what can you do to just keep it safe? Any advice, class? Any advice for Pulani? Even for me, I'd like to keep a diary, but I have some concerns. How can we keep a digital diary safe? There's another question. How can we keep a digital diary safe? I feel like digital diaries are much easier than pen and paper, old school, to keep safe. I don't know about you guys. Maybe there's a drive you can put it on. Ah, Yulisa says, buy the one with the lock. Pulane, there's a suggestion from Yulisa. Keep one with a lock and keep the key, I guess. Amahle says she keeps it in a school bag because nobody goes through her school bag. Okay. right, it seems like a couple of people keep diaries, which is very nice. It's a nice way to express yourself and it's therapeutic. Cleo says, on a digital diary, you can use a code which is only known by you. Nice, nice. I feel like digital diaries are much safer. Right, Ncebo has a question. Host, can you please unmute Ncebo? Ncebo's hand is up. Ncebo? Okay, Ncebo, I'm going to unmute you just now. Host, can you please unmute Ncebo? Okay, it seems like Ncebo is not in the class. Okay, maybe Ncebo will come back and we'll give him the opportunity to speak. Okay, so very, very interesting to see that we keep diaries and it's important that we keep them safe. Benny, you have a question? Oh, okay, Benny. All right, Benny. I'm going to unmute you, Benny. Host, please unmute Benny.
Morning, ma'am.
Hi. Afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am. I wanted to ask, what is the lesson about? Because I just came now and I'm lost.
Not a problem. We are talking about transactional texts and we are looking at diary entries, which are shorter transactional texts and they're between 80 to 100 words. Okay. Okay, thank you for sharing your thoughts on diary entries and how we can keep them safe. I have another question. Why do you keep a diary? For those of you that keep a diary, my question is, why do you keep a diary? And for those that don't, why don't you? I know there was a student that said, how do you keep them safe? So that might be one of the reasons why you don't keep a diary. Okay. Why do you keep a diary? I keep one because I love writing and it's easier to express my views on paper than sometimes it is to talk to other people about what's going on in my head. So that's why I keep a diary. So this question is for everybody. Why do you keep a diary? And for those that don't keep a diary, why don't you keep a diary? So you can just answer those questions and we can look at your responses. Okay, writing a diary. A diary is a portrayal of daily events, and the writer presents his or her evaluation of the day's events. It is written from the writer's point of view. It is a personal narration or a first-person narration. The language is simple and direct and to the point, and it can be informal. The tone will be determined by the nature of the diary. And a set experience will carry a sad tone, and a celebratory entry will portray a jubilant tone. All right, Bulana says, I don't keep one because I've got a younger sibling, so she likes invading my things. And she also has a helper. Remember, Pulani was asking, how do I keep one? Because I have a helper. Yoliso suggested that you get one with a lock. And another suggestion is get a digital one and make sure that you have a code nobody knows and one that you can remember as well. Katie has a hand up. Host, please unmute Kate. Cleo says, I don't keep a diary because it's risky and also because I prefer to convey my emotions and feelings towards a situation through music and psychological views and reactions. Okay. Yolisa says, I was unpopular during primary and many girls used to mock me, so I'd pour my emotions in paper, not on someone. I'm sorry that you experienced that, Yolisa, and I hope things are better now. Kwezi says, the best way to express myself and being a teen is at that stage where you usually contain our emotions and views. Okay. Kate, I'm going to unmute you so you can share your thoughts. You had your hand up. Kate? Hi, Kate. Kate? Kate? Kate, you had your hand up, or am I mistaken? Okay, you can just raise your hand if you'd like to speak, then I'll unmute you because I can't hear you now. Right, so we have two examples of diary entries. I need 2 volunteers to read these entries. If you're interested, raise your hand or tell me on the chat. If you're interested in reading the diary entries, please raise your hand. Yoliswa. Okay, Yoliswa, I'm going to unmute you. And you're going to read the first entry, Monday's entry. Yoliswa?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
I can hear
you. How are
you,
ma'am?
I'm well. How are you, Yoliswa?
I'm good. Monday, 24 May 2010. Another friendly match for Bafana Bafana tonight. Although I'm anxious for the game to start, I am worried about the quality of their opponents. Will they live up to the expectations? Or are we going to be trashed tonight? Who will the coach field with the quality of players he has? I do not envy his position. I wish the last whistle was blown already. I feel it, but I fear it.
I'm snapping for you because that was lovely. Thank you, Yoliswa. Great job.
Pleasure, ma'am.
All right, Kate, I couldn't hear you there for a moment and you had your hand up. So I'm just going to unmute you now, Kate, okay? Kate? Hi, Kate? Okay, it seems like, Kate, you might be having audio problems because I cannot hear you. Perhaps you can write your question on the chat. Okay. All right, thank you, Lisa, for reading the diary entry on the 24th of May, 2010. Okay, who would like to read Wednesday? Okay, Amashe. All right, Amashe. I'm going to unmute you. Amahle, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay. 25th May 2010. That was unbelievable. The boys really gave a good account of themselves. They played as a unit in attack and defense. Why did I have to doubt them? With their motivation and commitment, they can take the world. The coach was right about the training camps being work in progress. The progress is there for all to see. No wonder the stadium was full on a Monday evening. I have no doubt that the cup is staying in the country. I can feel it. Only I do not fear this time.
Nice job. Thank you so much. Thank you, Amahle. Did you hear that? My snap, snap.
Yes, ma'am.
I thank you for the ladies for reading those diary entries. I want to know from you, what does the word thrashed mean? The word thrashed. What does the word thrashed mean? So it's, if you look at Monday's entry, it's right there in the third line. Benny says it means embarrassed. It means to fight or to be beaten up. Okay. All right. That's very good. Thank you. That's exactly what it means. So remember that you won't always be able to use a dictionary when you are in it. Actually, you won't be able to use a dictionary in an exam setting or a test setting. So you'll have to use other methods of understanding what words you don't know mean. So what you can do is look at the words around that particular words you're unfamiliar with to understand what it means, and it will give you a clue. Okay, so you have to read the diary entry. And so we've already looked at, so this is for your activity. You've already looked at 2 diary entries. So this is the third one. Okay, volunteers to read the third one. I have to say I'm very impressed with your reading and your pronunciation. It's very, very it's wonderful. So this diary entry is from Diana Hofmeyer from Blue Train to the Moon. Come, grade 9s. Volunteers to read. Okay, Yelisa's going to read again then. Yelisa.
Ma'am.
Hi.
Hi, ma'am. Again. School is desperate today. Just desperate. It dragged on and on like a sentence without any commas or full stops. I felt so shattered. How can people expect me to answer questions and talk normally when this has happened? Surely they could notice I was different. They all seemed just the same. Kate biting her nails. Rod was picking at his pimples, and Zack was acting the class fool as usual. Vusi and Linda were having one of their internal arguments. This is about male versus female rappers. I hate rap. It's my worst music. Surely they could see that this me was not me at all. This Sylvie sitting at the desk was not the same one who had sat here on Friday. How could anyone not notice? friends would surely notice something's different. But who who of them are really my friends? It was a relief to get to the live drawing class after the lunch break. At least I didn't have to pretend to pay attention. I hid behind my drawing board with my thoughts, even though Mr. Evans kept snorting and complaining over my shoulder. Sylvia, look at the way his hips line up with his shoulders. Mr. Evans makes a show of dragging out this S sound. You are not seeing the negative spaces. Today I found he's so irritating. Yes, Mr. Evans. The model wasn't naked like a real artist model. Usually someone from the class poses. Today it was James lounging on a
Lounging.
raised platform. Lounging on a raised platform. James, with his smug, looked as if all girls would fall for him. He's beginning to get a dark, hairy shadow across his top lip. I can't hear it when
Bear.
I can't bear it where that happens. Drawing ended up so smudged, and I drew horns coming out of his head and then crunched up the paper and threw it at the bin.
Thank you, Yulisa. Fantastic. Thank you. All right. So we've looked at 3 diary entries. So I want you to tell me the difference between this diary entry and the ones on the previous page. Okay. So I want you to note the differences between the diary entries. So what are the similarities and the differences between these diary entries? Ulana says the date and day count, or do you want the differences in detail? Just what you pick up. Okay, so yes, the dates are different. One is actually dated and the other isn't. So this page has Monday, 24 May and Wednesday, Wednesday, 25 May. And this one doesn't. The very long one doesn't. What else can you pick up? Yes, Benny. Benny says one is informal and one is formal. Which one is formal? Which one is informal? Okay. Benny says the first one is formal. Okay, why do you say that? Yolisa says the first 2 are feelings about a game and they're not towards a present moment. Okay. Nice one. So if Benny, if you say the first one is formal, why do you say the first one is formal? Because he or she used the correct form of a diary. Ah, okay. So it uses the elements that we need, you usually assessed on when you write shorter transactional texts. Okay. It has the date and the day. Nice one, Penny. And remember, if you look at the bottom of this one, it's actually from a book. Can you see that at the bottom? It says From Blue Train to the Moon by Diane Hoffmeyer. Okay, so let's just... Okay, apologies about that. Let's just go back to that slide. So why is the second one informal? While we're going back to our slide. Why is the second entry informal? Elisa says it has no date, okay? And Benny also says one is short diary and the other is a longer one. That's true. The other one also, the first one, this one, has 2 entries, 2 short entries. And this one, and they're not very detailed, okay? And this one is very detailed and it focuses on one event. Benny says, yes, the longer diary shows more details. That's correct. So this is your activity, and we're going to go through it now in class. So the first question is, what is the name of the person writing the diary? So we're only looking at this one. So the questions are based on this one. So let's read the question and come back. What is the name of the person writing the diary? The author, Pulani, of the book is Diane Hofmeyer. Okay? It's not Diane who wrote the diary entry in the book. Okay. Sylvia, that's correct. Okay. If you look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the 8th line, in the middle of the 8th line, you'll see there it says, this Sylvie. And somewhere else she's called Sylvia with the S sound. Yes, Penny. Yes, Jolisa. Yes, Kwezi, you are right. It is Sylvia. Let's have a look at the second question. When you're answering questions, always pay attention to the mark allocation because it will tell you how much you need to answer and how much time to spend on the question. 2 says, what is the name of the art teacher? Let's go back. The name of the art teacher. Mr. Evans, Elisa, Dana, Benny, Kwezi, and Pulani are correct. Yes, it is Mr. Evans. Right, let's go to the next question. What makes the writer question the loyalty of her friends? What makes the writer question the loyalty of her friends? I'll also write down the question. What makes the writer question the loyalty of her friends? What makes Sylvie doubt the loyalty of her friends? So if you look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 line from the top, I think you'll find the answer there. So that's a clue for you. It says there, surely they could see that this me was not me at all. This Sylvie sitting at the desk was not the same one who'd sit here on Friday. How could anyone not notice? Friends would surely notice something different. But who of them are really my friends? Kwezi says because they didn't even notice that she was different. Yolisa says they seem to not notice her moods and she longs for their attention and they're just not minding her. All right. Benny says the way they interact and they didn't notice her. That's absolutely right. I want to hear from you. What qualities do you look for in friends? What qualities do you look for in friends? Benny says they have to be trustworthy. Nice. Bulani says they have to be honesty. Amasha says loyalty. Right, I have a follow-up question. Is it easy for you to forgive a friend who's done you wrong? All right, is it easy for you to forgive someone who's done you wrong? All right, if you're saying no, you have to explain. So you can't just give me no, yes answers. Okay, just elaborate a bit and tell us why. JJ says no, Pulana says it depends, Benny says no, Kwezi says no, Olanda says no, Amasha says ish, but it takes time. So just tell us a bit more. Kate says it is very easy. Oh, wow. Okay. That's different from what your classmates are sharing. Okay. Is it easy for you to forgive a friend? Benny says no, because it takes a while to understand the situation. Lynn says yes. Pulana says it depends what they've done wrong and how close you are to the friend. Okay. Others, what do you say? Forgiveness is a bit of a tricky one. I think something we need to keep on working at, because remember, you might be the one who might want somebody to forgive you one day, and you'll need them to be kind and say, oh, it's okay, I understand, I forgive you, apology accepted. Yelisa says, I don't know because I've had friends who are pretenders. And Benny says how it should be solved. It should be solved sooner or later, or we can miss each other. But in the end, we should forgive each other. Paula says not really, because the trust is kind of lost and it takes time to mend. Yes, trust is very fragile because once it's broken, it takes a while to build it up. Kate says, because I feel like if I hold on the grudge, the world won't pay me a penny for me not from forgiving them, because I might need them to forgive me one day. Elisa, I'm sorry to hear that you've never had true friends, and I hope that situation changes and you'll be sharing a different story one day. All right, number 4. How does Sylvie make fun of the art teacher? Benny says it's a tough decision, but trust is the key to true friends. All right, let's go back. How does Sylvie make fun of the art teacher? How does Sylvia make fun of the art teacher, Mr. Evans? Amasha says snotting. By saying his name, yes, Evans. That's right. That's absolutely right. So the exaggeration with the S sound, with the hiss. So you guys make fun of your teachers. Okay. Now I know. All right, let's look at number 5. Why is the writer's drawing smudged? So that's with 1 mark. Why is the writer's drawing smudged? Why is the writer's drawing smudged? So if you look at the last paragraph, you'll find the answer there, right there at the bottom. Just in case you forgot the question, why is the writer's drawing smudged? Why is the writer's drawing smudged? Amasha says the charcoal kept breaking in her hands. The charcoal kept breaking. Yes, Paula. Yes, the charcoal kept breaking. Thank you for those answers. And 6, out of whose head did the writer draw horns? Out of whose head did the writer draw horns? The answer is also in the last paragraph, right along with the charcoal. James, yes, that's correct. James, because James was the model, and because the charcoal broke, she ended up drawing horns. The last question, which is with 4 marks. What do you think has happened to the writer of this diary? Quote from the diary to support your answer. 4 marks. What do you think has happened to the writer of this diary? Quote from the diary to support your answer. Before we get there. So this is your opinion. There's no right or wrong answers. So what do you think has happened after this diary entry? And justify your answer. Do you think they continued being friends? Do you think she drew another better drawing without horns? Or she started listening to rap? What do you think? No right or wrong answers, just how you explain it will give you the marks. Okay, you can think about this question and email Ms. K your answer, and she will discuss it with you in your next lesson. That is it for today. Thank you so much for coming to today's lesson. It was lovely teaching you grade 9. Please remember to follow us on YouTube and Facebook. And enjoy the rest of your, what day is it today? Thursday, yes, the rest of your Thursday afternoon.